started laughing. I was like, when I say every single one of my kids have my personality, they sure do. So I was like, oh, okay. So then he calls me the next day saying that he's on his way or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay. So he was like, can he speak to my son? So I get my son the phone. And then I guess, I don't know what was said because I was working. I hear my son going off on him, cursing, like, you fuck. And I'm like, whoa, 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 what's going on? What's going on? Just like that. I was like, you already know you're not supposed to be cursing in front of me, like, point blank, period. But he was cursing at his dad. And then you could hear, because he had him on speaker, oh, you could tell you wasn't raised right. How you going to sit there and disrespect an adult or whatever? And my son just going off on him, like, which he has every right to. But he doesn't have to curse. But I understand because he's angry. Like, how you just going to pop up after years later, because your mom died? Like, I understood. So I get the phone and he's like, what child are you raising? He's sitting there disrespecting me, calling me all types of names and stuff like that. I was like, what did you expect? Like, you pop up every couple of years and expect this boy to open his arms to you. Like, what do you expect? Oh, you the one who moved on. You the one who started having more kids. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. I was like, wait, what? What's that got to do with your son and your daughter? So he's like, I'm already up there. I'm coming up there. So he better get ready and get that attitude out of his system before I come up there. I'm like, I can't make him change how he feel about you. You created that. So then he goes on to, like, now he's starting to basically do that narcissistic where he's starting to put me down. Oh, that's why you always gonna be poor. That's why you always gonna be a statistic. You got all them damn kids. You always gonna be in poverty. Nothing ever is gonna go right for you. And you're like, all right, click. Click right on his. Who? Where? Sir, what makes you think it's all right for you to be coming at me like that? What? He calls me back again. Oh, I don't know what happened. I think the line. I said, no, I hung up on you. Who do you think you're talking to? We're not doing this. If my son said he's not going, he's not going. What is the problem? Oh no, I'm almost there. I've already drove 2 hours up there. I'm already 2 hours in. Okay, what's that got to do with me turning around and go back? And Orlando is not even that far from me. Go to Orlando. Like what the fuck? So then he was like, okay, let me take, our oldest daughter. I was like, no, she don't know you. And I don't know who you're going to have around her. And she's a female. Oh, my sister, she has girls. She's going to be... No. I don't trust your family like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been around you and your family, and I've heard stuff around you and your family. You're not taking my daughter. I don't know who's going to be around her. I don't know who's going to be around her like that. Oh, I'm coming. I don't care. So I'm still working. And I go to my son. I was like, you can't be cursing like that, especially in front of me. I can understand your frustration, but you're still a child. You're not, like, I'm not naive because I was cursing too when I was a teenager or whatever. I just didn't make sure I didn't do it in front of my parents. Like, people be thinking like these kids don't curse, and they do. Like, like, I understand that, but you can't do that in the respect of me as your mom. Have some respect and don't be cursing. I mean, however you want to see him, that's however you want to see him, because he created that. I didn't. A couple of hours go by, he knocks on my door, and I'm like, how the fuck this man knows how does he know my address? Because I still didn't give it to him. That's why I was like, yeah, make your way up here, but you won't know where I stay. He ended up pulling up to the 2-bedroom apartment. Man, when I tell you, I was like, I don't know who is telling him. Because like I said, at this point, TT knew where I stayed, Tasha knew where I stay, and then my mom and my brother knew where I stayed because they came up to Tampa to help me move when I first moved up there. So I'm like, who is telling this boy where I stay? So he's at the door. And mind you, I already started the weight loss surgery, so I look significant, like I'm starting to like shed. So he's looking me up and down, and he's like, where's, whatever. He's like, man, I ain't drive up here for nothing. I ain't drive up here. So now because I see the car he's driving, his homeboy step out the car. I was like, oh, that's why you was doing all of that in the car, was because you had an audience. So you wanted to show off in front of your audience. But I guess I embarrassed you. That's one thing you're not going to do. You going to show out, I'll show out too. I got an ass too. I could show out. I sure can. So we started like going back and forth. Like, I'm like, no, you're not taking my daughter. He doesn't want to go. Blase Swaze. We're going back and forth. So he's like, he wants to talk to them. So then he tries, when I go inside, then he proceeds to try to look into my apartment. I said, excuse me, sir, what are you being so nosy about? So I shut the door in his face. I was like, well, he's out here. He wants to talk to y'all. And this is going to be the first time he actually meets our daughter. So then my son comes out, unit on his face, boo, just ready, like, just ready to tell his ass a new one. So my daughter comes out, and mind you, she's like really shy. She really timid. And I guess she already could hear the commotion between all three of us. So she already like feel like she's out of place. So then my son says, well, okay, this is your daughter. This is her name. And, my daughter just says hi. And he's like, hey, how you doing? How you been? How old are you? And then she like says it, and then she just gets quiet, and she stands behind her brother. So we all in this, and he was like, I don't know where this animosity is coming from. And my son was like, what do you mean? You haven't been in our lives for all this time. He's like, and then you want us to just up and go with you? My sister don't even know you, and you're not taking my sister. If you're going to, and my son is like 14, 15, like, he's like, you're going to have to go through me if you're trying to take my sister. That's why I said my son always protected us. No matter what, he always protected us.